Right, so you have your new dishwasher and it's time to connect it to the water outlet. Over here I have the outlet for the cold water, and I'm going to demonstrate how to connect the water pipe from the dishwasher to this outlet. Now in this video I'll also demonstrate what to do if the outlet is already occupied by a washing machine, for example. In this case, how do you solve this problem where there's no space? So in this video I'll first demonstrate how to connect the dishwasher directly to the water outlet, and thereafter I'll demonstrate how to connect the dishwasher and the washing machine to this cold water outlet. Now the first step is to determine if your dishwasher connection fits with the outlet. In this case this is brass, and over here there is brass threads, and if I just check to see if it would fit, in this case it is fitting, and there's a bit of a wiggle here, so it might be useful to use some PTFE tape. So I'm just going to remove the old tape that's here. Best to start afresh. Now, the first thing I'm doing is I'm just inspecting the surface underneath here. And the reason I'm doing that is what's going to happen is this is going to mate directly with that. So there's a washer here. And if this is rigid or has rusted, got some rough areas, it's not going to mate perfectly with this washer, and it's going to leak, especially in the first few days. So the best practice is to make sure this is completely smooth and flat. If it wasn't, I would just file it a little bit just to make sure that it is flat. And then I'll just go over it with a 200 grit sandpaper just to make sure that the surface here would mate perfectly with the washer, which is inside here. Now, if this is an old dishwasher, please check the condition of the washer. In this case, if I take my nail and I go like this, you can see that some of the rubber has actually come off onto my finger. For example, if I do that, look at that. So this washer is actually fatigued. It is also deformed. It's taken the shape of the old outlet, which I don't want it to do because maybe this outlet is slightly different. So it's best to change the washer if it's not new. If it's a brand new dishwasher, the washer will be brand new and you can install it straight away. So in this case, because this is a used dishwasher, I'm just going to remove. You can use a flat screwdriver and just pull this out, or some long nose pliers. Right, so there is the old washer. Right, just having a look at it, this is old. You can see it's got an indentation around here, and also the rubber is coming apart. The back is equally bad. Inside here, there's actually a little filter. Just check that there's no sediment there and it's clean. And now it's time to insert the brand new washer. Right, I've now renewed the rubber washer because this is an old dishwasher. I don't necessarily have to put any tape as long as this would fit perfectly. And as I'm showing, it is quite stiff. For example, there isn't a lot of wobble. For example, if I put this pipe over here and notice how much wobble there is, that type of wobble would require me to use this PTFE tape. Now, because there's a washer inside here and the washer is actually mating onto the surface, I can actually insert this without the tape and just make sure that it's quite tight. Right, then I tighten this as much as I can, hand tight, and just like that, it should not leak. If you'd like to use PTFE tape, here's the method. Make sure that you've removed any old PTFE tape and make sure it is dry and clean. Notice there is none at the bottom here. I've only wrapped it 4 times. Depending on your installation, you might need more. I hold the nut in place. I'm trying not to cross thread it. It should go on quite easily. And straight away the nut is getting quite tight, but not so tight that it's not going on the threads. Here's the cold tap, and I turn it on, and even if I turn it on fully, there's not even a drop here. Right, so they're mounted directly onto the outlet. Now, what happens if you wanted to connect your dishwasher, but there was already a pipe over here? I'm now going to demonstrate how to solve that problem. So I'm going to remove this one. Notice there's the water because it was under pressure. And now what I need to use is a Y piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect this like that. And then on the one side, I'm going to put the dishwasher. And then on the other side, I'm going to put the washing machine. Now, immediately there's a problem here. This plastic nut is too loose. The threads on here are quite a bit bigger than the threads here, which means that when I get to near the top here, it might just climb over and then bounce back down, meaning it won't actually fasten. So what I need to do in this case is bring that PTFE tape. So here's the PTFE tape. It comes in different sizes. In this case, I'm just going to use the thinner one. If you haven't got the thinner one, you can use the thicker one. It'll just be an extra amount on the top there. Now, since I'm going to tighten this nut in a clockwise direction, I'm going to put this PTFE tape also in a clockwise direction. And try to keep it wide while threading it. Right, so I've just gone around here 4 times. Right, now look inside here. There should be a washer. It has fallen out. There's the washer. And now I make sure this is smooth and I can fasten this nut. Be very careful not to cross thread this. This is quite easy to cross thread. So what I do is I support it with my fingers and then I just turn. Right, so I tighten this with my hand and I don't tighten it fully. I'm just checking that this is not wiggling, so I have the right amount of tape. If it is getting tight and this part over here is still loose, for example, if this nut is tight, but this is still wiggling like that, then you've put way too much PTFE tape. So what I do is I just check, yes, no, that's fine. So all I wanted to do is just stop it from wiggling. Now I haven't made this tight yet because I want this to be able to move because I don't want to destroy that washer while I'm fastening the other pipes on. Right, so here's the washing machine one, often has a little filter. Check the condition of the filter, make sure there's no sediment, and make sure the washer is renewed. Now the washing machine is on this side, so I'm going to insert the pipe on this side. Now notice I don't put any tape here. Right, so that's the washing machine side, and now I'm going to do the dishwasher side on this side. Right, now I go around and I tighten everything again. Now I use my hand to tighten it. You might find it's easier if you use a rubber glove. When you're tightening it, try to hold the pipe in place, otherwise this might move. For example, here's the pipe. I don't want the pipe to twist. I don't want to have loops in the pipe. So I'm holding the pipe and then tightening this so that the pipe doesn't loop. Now finally I go to the top and make this tight now. Rather, don't use vice grips and things like that to tighten these. These should just be done by hand. If you're someone who hasn't got much hand strength, then yes, I suppose you could use a vice grip, but just be very careful because it's very easy to over tighten these and then it climbs over and it damages the plastic. Right, because there are rubber washers here, if you wait a few minutes, you can always go around and just tighten it again, and you'll find that because the rubber washer is seating and getting thinner, it actually allows you to tighten it a little bit more. Once you've tightened everything and checked it, turn on the tap, then check here with your finger to see if there's any moisture around here. Now I have the dishwasher here and the washing machine on this side, all from the cold tap. Right, sometimes when you move the machine towards the outlet, you might find that the pipe has a bit of a twirl or a kink. Just release the nut, let the pipe settle, and then tighten the nut again. We don't want the pipes to be twirling under pressure. Thanks for watching and cheers.